Welcome to Tuesday Night Yoga with Rob and Steve. Usually it's with Rob or Steve, and the other one's on the other side of the camera. Hello folks at home, welcome. This might not be pertinent to watching because it might be later, but tonight around 10:30 is the actual new moon. So that means that the sun and the moon are both in Leo. And so as we practice tonight, we are in the last 5 hours of what's called the dark of the moon. It's called balsamic, which has nothing to do with vinegar. It is an old ancient word, balsamic, meaning that it is the last phase of the moon, the darkest. It's where the dark basically builds, because when the new moon starts, the next phase there starts to be light. But right now we're still building in the darkness. So it's a time to be very introspective and do a lot of reflection. It's a great time to turn inside and do a lot of meditation. Then as we prepare for the new moon each month, it's always the best time for us to actually plant the seeds in the earth so that we can nourish them all month long. So if you have something that you're wanting to start tomorrow, tonight, in the middle of the night, whatever, as it goes into the new moon phase, to try to place that intention in your heart is a really good thing. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Whether it's a new moon, when you're watching the class or not, just planning an intention for newness in your heart. And we're going to do a mantra called Om Asatoma, which the translation is take us from the false to the truth, from the darkness to the light, and from poison to nectar. So allowing us to be the alchemist of our own life and changing a lot of times the things that we perceive as negative or dark are actually just in our mind. I'm not saying that's all the time, but sometimes we get into a habit of just turning things into, you ever been in that when you're just like, you feel like every day you just keep doing that? And especially in this time where it just seems like every day that we wake up, there's something else. There are bigger numbers of people being ill, all this that we can, sometimes it's good to step back from it and to say, okay, in the middle of all this poison, where's the nectar? In the middle of all this darkness, is there any light? And there always is a kernel. So as we move through the darkest time of the moon tonight, we're gonna sing to the moon in this Om Asatoma. Okay, so we'll do it 3 times through. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyoti Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyoti Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyoti Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Set your eyes closed. Let your hands just rest on your knees for a moment. Perhaps your index finger and thumb will come together in a mudra, bringing consciousness, the big mind and the little mind together. Both are necessary. And if you were to set an intent for this month, just bring that into your mind and then allow it to descend down down into your heart. Now let's bring our hands in front of our heart. And we'll do one Om. So breathing out. In deeply. Nice. Go ahead and release your hands and open your eyes. And let's just take it a little easy getting started tonight. Since we're in the dark of the moon, we'll just take it a little easy. So go ahead and bring your right hand to your left knee. Left fingertips being on the tips of your fingers. Lift up nice and tall. Bring the shoulder blades together and then start to twist. And look over that left shoulder. Take your eyes around as far as they'll go, even stretching the muscles of the eyes. And still taking a nice deep breath here. Inhale, come on back up to center, and then we'll switch. So keeping that extension through the body, up through the Sushumna Nadi, the main energy center. Shoulder blades come back towards one another, and then we twist and look over the left shoulder and breathing in nice and deep. Inhale, come on back up. And we're just going to take our fingertips out. We're going to leave the glutes down. So not coming up off the hips. Keep them down. Just scoot out. And keep taking those hips back. Then drop the head so that you're looking down towards your mat. And you feel as if your head is coming straight out from the spine. And then maybe as you breathe and you feel an opening in your spine, just allow yourself to go a little bit deeper. Inhale, come on back up. I think everybody has a block. At home, I started off by saying a block and possibly a strap. Steve, will you throw me a strap too, just in case I need it? So we're going to bring the block right in front of us. And I think everyone in class tonight is going to be able to do this, but if you're really stiff, don't worry about your head going to the block. But we're going to bring our forehead down. And if you want a little bit more of a stretch, and we're not very open, we haven't really done anything, you can take it down to any level where your body feels like it's getting it the most, but you can still relax. So we're resting the forehead, the third eye area onto the block, Ajna. And imagining that the block is the earth, and that as we breathe in, we open that center of intuition. We take in the energy of the mother, and we ask for pure insight into our lives, into our spirit. Into the darkness, we invite the light. If you can just take my instructions, just take your hands straight back behind you, like if we were going to be in a locust pose, palms up, and then just lifting the shoulders. Again, just being really comfortable in this position.
Lifting the hands,
so
as much as you can.
Lifting the palms up towards the sky, so we're getting a little stretch in the shoulders and in the front part of the body. Beautiful. Exhale, go ahead and bring your fingertips down. Inhale, come up slightly, and we're going to grab those straps that have appeared in our body. At home, you just need to have an assistant that can drop off a strap. And then we're going to bring this right leg out. And we're going to straighten the knee so that it's coming straight up towards the sky if possible. So I still am very old school, and I will manipulate the thigh and get myself onto the sit bone so that my toes will come straight up. Great. So we're going to wrap the strap around that right foot. And first, we're just going to bring the shoulders back, and the heart's going to come forward slightly. So now we have have to work on pulling back a bit because we want to always go as far as we can. But right now we're working on opening the lower back. So ground that both thighs, but especially the thigh on your right side. Feel as if one of our hands is on it, pushing it down into the floor. Scoop the tailbone slightly or pull the perineum up and energize that bandha of the lower belly, and then come forward a little bit more. Keeping the integrity in the upper back. So we're really keeping the stretch in that it would be the quadratus lumborum, the lower part of the back. And breathing. Beautiful. Inhale. Come on up. And we're going to just switch sides. So we're going to wrap the strap around the left foot. We're going to start off just a little slight two-step. So we're pulling the foot back. Look down, see if you're lifting the kneecap and if the quad is engaged on that left leg now. And then get nice and tall first. Engage the bandhas by pulling up through the perineum, the pelvic floor up, and engaging the lower belly. And then just slightly coming forward now and keeping the intention on opening up the low back. Beautiful. Inhale, come on back up. And we're going to just bring this forward and bring both feet into the strap. So pull back on the strap enough that you can feel like you're bringing the baby toe side of your feet back towards you. Nice. And then come forward. And using your sense of feeling, but also taking your mind's eye into your body and see if you can feel that opening in the belly of your hamstring. So it would be in the meaty part of the back of the leg. Pulling the lower belly in and up for support, and then just coming forward. Again, we're opening up the lower back. Beautiful. Inhale, come on back up, and then we'll come onto all fours. So coming onto all fours, we're gonna just look at our alignment a little bit here, and have your hands right underneath your shoulders, stacking up your shoulders, or your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders are all in line. Your knees are right underneath your hips. So we're making this nice little table, and then let's just find a nice rhythm for ourselves in a cat-cow. It can be in whichever direction you like, but on the breath in, one direction, breath out in the other. And find that sound of the breath, if you can, breathing in and out through the nose. A couple more of those. Come back to neutral and then take your right leg back behind you, curl the toes under, and with the intention of just opening up the back of the leg. So opening up the calf, the quad. Then pull the lower belly in and up and lift the foot up off the floor. And we're going to take that right foot out to the right. Ground the foot down onto the left, even the baby toe is ground down. Feel that opening. Now come onto the inside, so into your instep now. Good. Might shift your weight slightly if you need to. Pull into the lower belly, and we're going to lift the leg up. So now we're going to work the outside of the hip. We're working a lot of different muscles. Good. Bring that leg back behind you. Keep it going all the way. Now it's going to go over to your left side. You're going to stay up on the toes. Reach out through the crown of the head and then twist, looking over your left shoulder back at your right foot. And breathe. Inhaling, back up to center, and back to neutral table pose. With intention, leaving the toes under, bring your fingertips as if you're going to come into puppy, but the difference is we're going to take the hips back. So we're doing a little stretch through the feet in the arches, opening up and then if you lift the underarms up, we're even getting a little bit of a stretch in the lats. Using your breath to know if you can go a little bit deeper. Inhale, coming back up, and then bringing your hands back so that we're on all fours. I'm going to change perspective so that the camera can see a little bit better here for this. So we're going to switch sides and take the left foot back, curl the toes under, and get that stretch first in the back of the leg. Breathe deep. Check in with your mind. Inhaling, bring the bandit into gear. The toes are still down, and we're going to take it now out to the left foot and then plant it solidly. So we're stretching through the baby toe side of the foot here. Take a nice deep breath. And then roll into, so invert onto the foot, pull into the lower belly to lift the leg. Give yourself a little challenge, see if you can hold it there. So we're reaching out with the foot. And feeling those muscles open. If your hips are tight, this is a little bit difficult. On your exhale, we're just gonna let it come around. It's gonna shift over to our right, staying up on the toes, extend out to the crown of the head and over that right shoulder back at our left foot, and breathe deep. Inhaling, pull in and up, bring it back to neutral. And this time we are going to come into puppy pose. So what we do in puppy is we're going to keep the knees right underneath the hips, but we're going to bring the fingertips out as far as we can. Keep lifting the underarms up, squeezing the shoulder blades gently towards one another, and then melt down. The head might eventually come to the floor. It's okay if it doesn't. Just feeling that opening in the body. On the next inhale, we're going to come up slightly. We're going to take the left arm out and then through, coming into a thread of the needle to open up the shoulders. So we'd like to be able to come down all the way onto that left shoulder and the head, but listening to your body, what it might need today. Or if you have any limitations in that shoulder joint, just find a place where you can feel a nice opening for yourself. Those of you who are all the way in the pose, pushing the back of your left hand down into the floor helps to activate it a little bit more. Breathing deep. And then inhaling with intention, coming back up to puppy first. Come back into puppy. On your next inhale, coming up slightly, and on the left, on your exhalation, bringing your right hand to the opposite side and finding the pose for yourself. Breathing in deep. Beautiful. Inhale, come on back up. Bring your hands, actually let's stay in puppy here. We're gonna activate, so toes are under, and we're gonna keep the lower belly in and up, but we're gonna keep the hips as even as possible and take our hands over to the left. So this gives us the opportunity to take that right hip back and really feel the opening through the whole side body on that right side, through all the intercostal muscles, through the lats. Breathing. And then inhale, we're gonna dance towards the middle. And then on your next exhalation, we'll take it over to the right. Again, keeping the hips even. Breathing deep. Inhale, come up slightly And then coming onto all fours in the tabletop, just staying on the knees. Go ahead and push yourself back for downward facing dog. So grounding the hands down, allow the arms to move away from the mat as the hips then go back behind you. And really opening up the legs a little bit more, even maybe walking them out a bit, left and right, feeling the body open up. And take a nice deep breath in and then let it out with a sigh. Nice. And then start to walk your hands, walk your feet towards your hands. Bend the knees as deep as you need for this first one, and then just resting your knees, your elbows on your knees. Take the sit bones back, reach out through the crown of the head, maybe bring your hands into prayer with the fingertips down, and just feel that opening. Hands to hips, inhale, come up to standing. Nice. Good. So we'll go through some sun salutations. How's everybody feeling here? You doing good? How about you guys? You doing all right? You look fabulous. Okay. So coming to the top of your mat. Feet are hip distance apart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. On the inhale, lift, half lift. On your exhalation, place your fingertips, take that right leg back into high lunge. Coming to low lunge. Toes stay curled under on that right foot. Inhale, both hands to the front knee. Good. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, palms up. Breathing, wrapping the shoulders back, lifting up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing the hands down with intention to the front knee. Pull into the core, pull the core of the pelvis up. If possible, we're going to come into high lunge. Beautiful. Hands down towards the floor, palms back, coming forward over that front thigh. Breathe deep. Exhaling, fingertips to the floor, push back, downward facing dog. Suggesting everyone, at least for the first couple, come to a vinyasa just to warm up. So coming through to plank pose. Exhaling, chaturanga or all the way to the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath. On your next inhalation, we're going to bring the right leg forward, and then we're going to come into a low lunge. Still, the toes are turned under in the back. Inhaling up, coming all the way up into this low warrior one variation. Setting our intention to feel the pose thoroughly. Breathing deep. As we exhale, the hands come to the front knee. Inhaling up through the pelvic floor to come up into high lunge. Beautiful. Hands down towards the floor, coming over that front thigh. Using the breath to build your energy and to keep the focus on your practice. Beautiful. Exhale, hands on either side of the front foot. On your next inhale, pulling into the lower belly, bring the left foot to meet the right. Half lift up. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, go a little deeper. One more time, half lift. Exhale, go a little bit deeper and take the arms back behind you. So palms up towards the sky. Exhaling, hands back down. Bring them to the hips. Pull in and up to come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Close the eyes for a moment and take a couple of deep breaths. As we set intentions for ourselves in our yoga practice, we're reminded that every day we can wake up and have intention for our life. The more intention, the more frequently we set intention for each day or moment,
the more sacredness there is to it. We remind ourselves of just how sacred the breath, the life, and the moment is. Exhale, release, eyes open. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. On the exhale, take the right leg back into high lunge. Bring your left hand to your left knee and the right hand out nice and wide. And then stack the shoulder with the wrist and twist open into an Anjaneyasana variation. Hand up to the sky, keeping the hips pretty much even. And take a couple of deep breaths. Bending the left hand so that the back of the left hand is on the sacrum. Twist again. Inhaling arm up. Exhale back to neutral, both hands on the front, on either side of the front foot, pushing back, downward facing dog. Turn to the outside of your right foot, the outside of your left foot and inside of your right foot. Getting a little bit of stretch in the hips. Beautiful. Inhale up. Exhale, other side. So now you're on the outside of your right, inside of your left. Beautiful. Come back up. Coming through vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, plank. All the way to the floor or chaturanga. We're going to hold, whether it's up dog or cobra, for a breath, and then exhaling back to downward facing dog. Beautiful, nice deep breath there. On your next inhale, we're going to take that right leg forward this time. And start to just slowly move into our Anjaneyasana. So out over the left, right hand to the right knee, using it to extend out through the spine and twisting, and then eventually bringing the right arm up. Breathing nice and deep. Feeling your whole body in your whole pose. As you exhale, the elbow will turn, we'll bring the top of the hand to the sacrum, and then opening up once again. Nice deep breath. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, arm down. Both hands either side of the front foot. Inhaling, bringing the back foot to meet the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release down. Hands out to either side. Ground the feet. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhaling, hands down in front of the heart. Again, just closing the eyes for a moment. Feeling the difference in the body from the beginning. Feeling the beauty of taking care of our body through movement. It seems to crave inertia, but then once we move it, it loves it. So go ahead, open your eyes. Exhale, release the hands. We're going to come into, bring your feet together slightly so that your big toes are close to touching or touching, and then coming into chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale up and fold. Inhale, half lift. On the exhale, taking the right leg back into high lunge. Bringing your focus to your breath. And feeling every part of the pose from the front knee reaching out to the back heel, reaching back. With each exhale, allow your body to relax but open up in just this simple lunge pose. Inhaling, exhale, front foot to meet the back, coming into this downward facing dog. Using the breath as your focus. Turning again to the outside of your feet. So going to the outside of your left foot, inside right. Coming up, switching sides. Inhale back to center. Let's come through vinyasa, so coming through the plank. Exhale, floor chaturanga.
Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling your right leg forward this time into high lunge. Just find that beautiful sense of opening in opposite directions, but finding that sattva, that place in the middle. And as it opens, extend out. On your next inhalation, we're going to bring the back foot forward. So left foot to the right, inhale, half lift. Exhale, go a little deeper in your forward bend. Maybe lift the feet and bring your hands underneath. The knees are a little bent, but you can feel the intensity in the hamstrings. Go ahead and release the hands out, back onto the floor, and bring your open palms to the back of your calves and do the half lift here. So pushing into the calves. So now opening the shoulders a bit. Exhale, go a little deeper. One more time, inhale, hands still in calves. Exhale, pull the lower belly in and up and drape over the legs. Beautiful, hands down to the floor. Inhale, pull into the lower belly for support, and then coming, we gotta come to chair pose, sorry, bring your toes together. Inhaling. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Eyes closed for a moment, and pause. Beautiful. Exhale, release. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, place your hands, and then come back with the right foot back behind you. High lunge. Bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. You can stay up on your hands. You can use your block. Go ahead and bend your elbows, or using the block or not, to come down and get a stretch, whatever works for you. Breathe in deep. Nice. Inhale, come back up. And push back into downward facing dog. So just kind of listening to some instructions here. We're going to lift the right leg up. Going to bend the knee. We're going to try to keep the hands and the shoulders pretty much in line the way they are. And we're going to keep taking the foot over. We're not going to come into wild thing. We will have an opportunity to do that in a little bit here. But I'd like you to use your focus, pull into the core, activate your feet, and then come up on your right fingertips. So you're giving yourself a little bit more room and twisting open, but you're staying in this part of the pose. Breathing. On the inhale, that hand will go back down, the leg up, and then down to the ground. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to stay in down dog. For those of you who want to come through a vinyasa, I'm going to talk us through it, but you can rest in down dog. Coming through a plank, exhaling, try to run over the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting the left leg up nice and high. Start to bend that knee, taking it over as far as you can, and then coming up onto the left fingertips. Twisting open. Using your focus, your core,
your strength of will as much as your body to stay in this pose. And then inhaling, hand flat, leg down, coming down to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, we're going to bring the right leg forward into high lunge. Bring that block over. Come out as wide as you need. Bring your elbows to the block on the floor. Keep tracking that right knee in and breathe nice and deep. Beautiful. Inhale, coming back up. Inhale, bring the back foot, left foot to meet the right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, a little forward action here, and then inhaling all the way up to standing. Beautiful. Hands down in front of the heart. Good, good, good. Okay. So we are going to do a little series here. Okay, so let's bring our hands in front of our heart. We're gonna, so we're in Anjali Mudra, and we're just gonna lift the right leg up, find our balance here. We're gonna step back and try to find lunge pose. Good. And bringing both hands to the front knee, we're gonna come on down to our knee. So we're going to balance here by leaning forward. So you're going to bring your left elbow to your left knee. We're going to try to bend the back knee up and see if we can reach the left heel with our left hand. It's about balance.
They're on the right side.
Okay, so whatever your back foot is, you're going to reach back with your hand. Okay, it's okay. Exhale, release. Coming into a runner stretch. So we're going to bring the fingertips to either side of that front foot. Start to bring the toes back towards you on the front foot. I'm just going to say front because I got you guys, I think you're on different, no, everybody's on the same side. Okay. Couple breaths here. Feel that hamstring open up. Good. Come back into low lunge. Hands onto the front knee, and we're going to pull up through the lower belly. Inhaling, warrior one. Exhaling, hands down. And we're going to try a jump switch or a walk switch, whichever your body wants. Beautiful. Come on down. So now we're on the whatever your back knee is. So right now I've got my left knee back. So do you guys, everybody does. Okay, we're gonna work on balance. So hand to knee, and we're gonna try to bring the same hand to the same foot. So really pulling into the middle, breathing nice and deep. As you exhale, stay up on the toes of that back foot, and then find a runner stretch by bringing the toes back towards you, and then just melting over that front leg. So over your right leg, toes are back towards you. Nice. Come back into that low lunge, hands on the front knee, activate the core, toes are under on the back, come up into high lunge, warrior one. Exhale, hands down to the floor, push back onto all fours and come into a child's pose. Taking a nice deep breath. Allow yourself to visit the darkness within your own being without apprehension or fear.
place inside where we can place our intention, where we can find quiet and solace. Nice. Beautiful. Come on up. And let's just find ourselves standing at the top of the mat. So I purposely designed a little bit of a slower class tonight, but it still feels like I'm sweating. I don't know if you guys are doing all right with it. So, old-fashioned way of coming is a wide leg forward bend. Bring your hands in front of your heart, bending your knees. On your exhale, we're going to take our leg out to the right. Oh, just take a leg out. There you go. End up looking like this. Good. I can't disappear. So, okay. So we're going to just do some wide leg forward bend. You take a leg and turn it out to the right. Inhale. Bring your arms up so that they're parallel with the floor. And then we're going to bring the hands down back behind us. So our toes are facing forward and we're isometrically pulling the feet towards one another. Now we've interlaced the hands. Now interlace your hands in your less dominant way. So switch the top of the index finger. It should feel really odd. And then go ahead and bring the shoulder blades back towards one another. Reach out through the crown of the head so that the chin really is staying level with the floor. Then take your hands up away from your body. On your next, so inhale, reach the sternum up towards the sky. And on your exhalation, we're going to come forward. So pivoting at the hips, hands are up towards the sky, shoulder blades back towards one another, feet isometrically pulling in, kneecaps up. So we're nice and stable here, beautiful. Take a nice deep breath. Everybody looks good. On your exhalation, the bottom part of the pose stays solid. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring both hands down to the mat. Elbows straight back between your legs. Inhale, push into the floor and do a little half lift up. And on your exhalation, we're going to bring the top of the head towards the floor. Pull the lower belly in and up. Keep that nice core connection. Breathing deep. Inhale, semi-half lift, come over towards your right foot. If you're really tight, you might just come towards it. Otherwise, you might actually bring your hands to that right ankle and twist open. Depending on your shoulder flexibility, you might bring that right arm up. Breathing deep, feeling the opening in the muscles. On the exhalation, we're going to come back down to neutral. Hands in the middle of the mat. A little half lift. On the exhale, start to come over to the other side. So both hands are coming over towards that left foot and twisting open. Left arm might come up to the sky. We might make a little windmill with our body and breathing nice and deep. Exhale. Release the hands down. One more time. Half lift up. Nice. Just letting it come all the way through. Feeling that opening. Start to turn your left toes towards the front of your mat and the right foot. You're going to end up in a high lunge, facing the front of your mat. Straighten the front leg. Stay up on the toes of the back leg. Straighten the front leg. And so we're doing a really wide Parsvottanasana. So don't expect to get your legs completely straight, but we're down in this part, so we're really opening up the quad and especially the hamstring on that left leg. Good. Go ahead and come back into high lunge.
Turn your right foot to be flat at the back of your mat and bring your left elbow to your left knee for side stretch. Right fingertips back behind you, then up and over the ear. Breathing nice and deep. We're going to do a little series of standing poses. So we're going to take our time in each one, breathing slowly into the darkness and just letting it open up. So take a couple deep breaths here. Steve, do me a favor and put their blocks on the left side, please. For those of you at home, this is going to include half moons, so you'll need something to balance with. On your next inhalation, push down into the floor, coming up into Warrior Two. So, find the pose. Maybe turn your palms up towards the sky. Let your shoulders descend down. Then, keeping the cups of the elbows, just turn the palms back down, go a little bit deeper in that pose. And now just holding it for a few breaths. Finding what your focus is. Start to straighten the front leg and coming into triangle pose. And that can be anywhere. It can be just at the top of your shin, or you can slide all the way down. That block is there too for half moon, but you can use it for triangle pose. And then find the pose for yourself. And then breathe deep. Exhaling the top hand to your hip, we're going to reach over for that block. If you don't need a block for half moon, it's okay. Start to bounce up, but you might want to use the block because we're going to hold the pose. So you might want to give yourself some height. Finding the pose, eventually maybe taking the arm up or leaving it on your hip if you want to for balance. Exhaling, the arm is up, bringing it to the hip, back down, high lunge, hands to either side of the front foot, pushing back, downward facing dog, and then coming down into child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart, hips back. And allow yourself to just enjoy the feel of your breath. Take a nice deep inhale, still in child's pose, and we're going to exhale it out. Beautiful. Slowly, coming to all fours, and then pushing back into downward facing dog. On the next inhale, we're going to bring the right leg forward into high lunge. We're going to start off by just staying up on those toes, straightening the front leg just to feel that really, let's just say nice stretch in the hamstring on the right side. Breathing nice and deep. Go ahead and come back into high lunge. Turn your back foot to be flat and bring your right elbow to your right knee, left hand to the hip. Finding the side stretch. First Virkonasana for you. Maybe the arm is up and over the ear, tucking the tailbone, finding that length, that beautiful pose in your body, and then taking a couple full breaths to allow it to just open up. Pushing down to the floor and then inhaling, coming up into warrior two. Finding that focus over the front fingertips. Feeling yourself come into the pose, isometrically pulling everything into the center, looking out over the front fingers. Without a point of view, just breathing. Start to straighten the front leg. Find yourself flowing over into that triangle pose. You're going to have to switch the blocks. Breathing for triangle. Breathing. Top hand to hip, so left hand to hip. Right hand to the block if you're going to use the block. And then bouncing up. Toes face out. Maybe that top arm will come up. Maybe it'll stay on the hip for balance. Making that decision and then staying in the pose for 2 or 3 breaths. Hand to hip if it's up. Exhale. Back down. Pushing back. Downward facing dog. And child's pose. Couple nice deep breaths here. Om Asatoma Sat Gamaya. Tamasoma Drake. Mityoma Amritam Gamaya. Keeping the breath even and deep, allowing the magic of the earth to nurture us, the contact we're making through our mat. The dark of the moon is the most nurturing and mothering part. What part of your life needs a little mothering, a little nurturing right now? Beautiful. Inhale, come on back up. We're going to come on to all fours. I'm going to ask you to, actually, you can stay facing the front of the room. That's good. I'm going to turn sideways so they come up. If you can stay this like that. Come on up onto your knees. I said all fours. With your knees. We're going to keep our toes tucked under. The yoga teacher who tries to confuse you with every cue I can. And we're going to bring that right leg out. So we're going to come into some, and if you want to turn sideways and have your foot on the mat, that's fine. Okay, inhale, arms up. So we're going to bring the hands back behind us, interlacing the hands, less dominant, reaching up. Maybe your hands will come up off the back of your body. Sliding the fingers to bring the hands parallel again, so now the shoulders are nice. They're back behind us, and then we're going to just pivot over to our left, right hand up, turning it out towards us, and then looking up. Breathing deep. Pull in and up to bring yourself parallel, your hands parallel to the floor again, and then coming over. Sliding down that right leg, left arm up. Exhale, back to neutral, hands to hips. Just coming in and switching sides. Left leg comes out, right knee is running to the right hip. Inhale, hands are going to be parallel with the floor. Exhale, down behind us, interlace.
Shoulders back, up away from the body, breathing. Sliding the fingers out so shoulders are back behind us. On your exhalation, we're going to come over with the right tip. Fingers on the floor, the left arm up. Breathe deep. Back to parallel with the arms, so the torso is back up and into the other side. And then up and over. Beautiful, everyone. You look great. Nice. Inhale. Come back up. And we're going to come with both knees on the floor for just a second. So we're going to come into some Vasisthasana variations. First, I'm going to ask you to, well, we started off with a very basic one where we had this as a kickstand and this out. This can actually be considered a Vasisthasana variation, especially for those of you at home. You can come back into this pose, really ground the hand and reach up, okay? So this is with the base leg as your kickstand. So if we're gonna go a little bit further, what we would do is we would bring this leg out. So let's us start like that. So you guys might, if you wanna turn sideways so that your feet are on your mat, that's fine. We're gonna bring the right foot out as a kickstand and come down onto the left hand. Then we're gonna bring the left leg underneath. So we're able to lift up because we've got this kickstand in the front, whichever, we're gonna do both sides, so don't worry about it here. And then we might take the arm up, and this might be our pose. We're really lining up everything so that the shoulder and the arm are supporting one another. We might stack the feet. We're gonna hold it for just another breath or two. We might actually bring our legs into tree pose. These are all just variations, none are better than the other. On your exhalation, we're gonna start to come down. And let's just come onto all fours and let's take a break. Come into your child's pose. No reason not to. And then let's do the other side. So come on up. And we'll start with then bringing the left leg forward as the kickstand. If those of you at home can do the gate pose again if you'd like. With your right hand down, the right foot coming underneath for support. This is a beautiful version. And then just lifting the hips. And then any of the other versions that you'd like to do. And then see whatever version is you're going to stay with here for 2 or 3 breaths once you're in your pose. And as you're ready, exhale, come on down into a child's pose. And breathe deep. Yeah. And then your inhalation, start to come on up, and we're going to come all the way up to standing. In the dark of the moon, when we can go inside to a place where it's quiet and silent, or relatively so, sometimes it can be scary, and other times it can be very comforting. So when we do these balancing poses, it can really help us to get that sense of balance within us, to get quiet inside. So what I like about tree and hangman's tree and eagle is that they seem very yin, but there's also a very yang element to being able to hold them. So we're gonna do a little bit of yin yang together. All right, so let's come onto the right foot first. And let's just start with basic tree. So again, for people at home, this can be a basic tree. You're always welcome to use the wall as a prop. It can be here, shin, or above the knee on the thigh. And we find that middle ground of pushing the thigh and the foot together, hands together, and then just breathing nice and deep. Some of us might choose to stay here, others we might bring our arms up. Might feel better on the shoulders to actually have the arms open into big branches. And then find that place where you can just focus. And even though we're efforting in our balance, we're letting go. Hands parallel to the floor. And another breath or two. Left hand's going to come into the heart. And right hand up overhead. And then they'll switch. Breathing. Letting go. Exhaling the hands down to parallel palms down, and then into the heart as we release on that side. Beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. And then let's go ahead and just switch. So coming onto the left leg, right leg placement, ankle, shin, or thigh. So finding that place to bring everything about you to the center. And then at the same time, we have as much effort going down into the earth as we do up to the sky. The right arm will come out. Palm up. Break at the wrist and the elbow. And then out to the other side. Our hands become little votive holders. Slowly bring them up overhead to bring the palms towards one another. Left arm down, right arm down, index thumb together, and then bringing your intent inside. And then close the eyes here. And come out as you're ready. And for those of you at home that are still have your eyes closed in tree pose, please come out now. Okay, so coming onto your right foot, bring your left foot up. So this knee it might be up. It's going to depend on our hip. But if we tuck under a little bit more, we might find that it comes down, and we want the knee to come out from the hip down rather than any kind of forcing anything. Just kind of let it be natural. So hands in front of the heart, and standing here and finding your space is great. If you're feeling like you could use a little bit more challenge, we'll bend that foundation knee, foundation leg. And this one we might take a little bit further, palms back and up, and then laying the body over the front leg. These are all just options. Don't let the ego get in the way, just find what works for you today. And breathing. Bring the hands back towards the heart. Start to ascend back up and release out. Beautiful. And you just switch sides. So coming onto your left foot or right foot up and over. We might start to bend the foundation. So on this, it would be the left side now. We might do something a little different. We might do what we just did, or we can bring our hands into Jana Mudra and bring the hands out like big wings. And then come over the front leg. Breathing deep, finding your spot, letting go. Don't leave any tension and constriction.
Inhaling as you come back up, the hands come back in, and we release. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to do something for you at home, but we have not done. Anyway, those of you here, just go to the back wall, find this spot at the back of the wall, and I think there's enough room that you'll have some distance. So Steve, you want to move those out? That move. Okay. So what they're doing at home, if you either have a piece of furniture or you can use the wall. Sheila, do you want to go down there? Would you be more comfortable? Or over here? Yes, you will. Yeah, we won't need it right away, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and scoot it back. So we're going to come into just a box pose, which is just bringing ourselves into a 90-degree angle. So we're going to bring our hands here, just making sure, okay? And we're going to step back, feet are forward, and we're going to slide the hands down the wall. Or like I said, if you're using the back of a love seat or a chair, that's fine. But you're going to try to find that 90-degree spot for yourself. So I'm going to try, I don't think you can really see. So if I were on the wall, this would be what I would be doing. Good. And then breathing in, take your hips away from you a little bit more and try to integrate the lower back. Then bring your head up so that it's right between your biceps. Think of having your head right out from the spine. Beautiful. Nice. Couple breaths here. Good, good, good. And then inhale. Just start to bend your knees, walk towards the floor or towards the wall for a second. Now, I'm not sure about you, okay? So we'll see what goes on here. But at home, what I'm going to teach is, some of us here in class actually do handstands and we haven't done them for a while. So what I'm going to instruct, though, is just practicing a kick-up. So how that's going to go, if I were at the wall, or if I haven't done these for a long time, what I'm trying to do is bring this foot in, your dominant foot will come in, you'll stretch the back foot, and what you want to just try to play with is straightening both legs. So you want to, it's if you were going to go into a handstand. What usually happens is this. So it just takes effort to keep the back leg straight and bounce up. Okay? So those of you here, did you bounce? You don't bounce, okay. Not even attempt like that? Okay. Is it shoulder stuff?
Ankle.
Okay. So the rest of you, because I know some of you do handstands, you can kick up. Those of you at home, I'm just going to suggest you can come back into box pose. And that's going to give you the same this, okay? So either kick up, box, okay. Kick up, box pose, or those of you going to full handstand, you're welcome to go in. So at home, if you're doing a handstand and you've got wall, go for it if you know how. Otherwise, I'm just going to show you again. One foot comes in, the other foot stays out, and I try to then straighten both legs. So what it would look like at the wall if I were going to go up. And then coming down, I would try to keep them straight. And come up. So I'm giving everybody a chance to just play with this kick up. And this action with the legs is not easy. It takes time to get that, being able to, the motor skills, it's the fear of falling, it's also the leg naturally bends. So that can be a little bit of fun to play with. Beautiful. Nice. And then those of you here, we're going to start to reel it in and bring it back. And maybe even just bringing your mat back. If you want to stay there, you can.
It's up to you. Okay, whatever you want to do. And you guys just pull your mats away, even if you want to stay like where you are. Just so when we go into Shavasana, you've got some room to spread out. Really nice. Let's come onto our backs, and we're going to come into, actually, while you're seated up, while you're still seated, too late, that's down. Grab your strap. And we're going to, I lost it. Wasn't quick enough. So we're going to come into staff pose. So
We'll rise again.
I know. I just read that today. It's an old, these bones will rise again. So we're going to bring the feet out in front of us. And I think that was a civil rights thing. One of the women in Rhodesia. She was, martyred.
Right.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Right.
So we're going to bring that feet back, sit up nice and tall. This in itself can be challenging. Using the core, leg muscles are engaged.
Did you tell me today's the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote?
Yes. 19th Amendment. Yeah, go ladies, you're gonna save the world.
Vice
Come on
President.
up, and then come towards your feet. Great. Yes, and breathe. Yeah, it almost seems impossible that it's only been 100 years, but yeah. But we won't go there. We're doing yoga and we're trying to relax, right? So, beautiful. Inhale, come on back up. Now we're gonna lay back and we're gonna do a lying pigeon. Instead of doing it the traditional on our stomach, we're gonna come down. Let's all bring our left ankle onto the top of the right knee and then reach through. So with your right hand, you're going to pull your right leg towards you, and your left hand's going to push your left knee. But both feet are active. Take a nice deep breath. And see if you can get that opening in the hip to start coming. You can start to feel that opening. And breathing deep. A couple nice deep breaths here. Slowly release down, and then bring your feet as wide as your mat. Take your knees off to the left. You can even give that little bit of the right hip just a little bit of encouragement, pushing it down a little bit. Inhale, coming up, and we're going to switch sides to pigeon first. So switching the legs. So now the right ankle's on the left knee. Reach through with the left hand. Right hand pushes the knee away, and then just breathing nice and deep. Then exhale, and then the feet are going to be as wide as the mat, and we're going to drop them over to the right. And maybe give that little left hip just a little bit push down, not too much. Breathing in. Beautiful. Come on back up to neutral with the feet. Bring them in a little bit so they're not as wide as the mat. Bring your elbows in nice and tight. Fingertips up to the ceiling, and then lifting up into a bridge pose. Bring the hips up, elbows making contact to come up so that the shoulder blades come back. And think of bringing your sternum up towards your chin. And breathing nice and deep.
If it's possible for your body, we're going to continue that hip stretch. So bring your left ankle over your right. We're staying in bridge pose and just keeping the hips lifted. Thinking about balancing out that left knee. Breathe in. Exhale, release down. If you need to bring your bottom down for a rest, do it. Otherwise, we're just going to switch sides. But if you need a rest, listen to your body. And then again, re-engage by bringing the hips up. Letting that right knee track down towards the floor and opening up. Breathing deep. Exhale, release. Bring the hips down. Bring your knees together and your hands onto your heart and let your eyes close for a moment. And take a nice deep breath. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring your left leg down straight. Bring your right knee in and your hands behind it. Take your right foot up to the sky. We're setting the hips here. We're opening up the legs. Then take that right leg across the left side of your body. Bring both palms down flat. And see if you can get that right shoulder blade down as well. Breathing in and then letting go in your exhalation. Inhaling up. We're going to bring the left leg up to meet the right. Switching, so then the right leg comes down, and then the left leg is going to go across the right side of the body. Tracking that left shoulder down. Breathing deep. Inhaling the left leg up, right leg to meet it. Bring your hands under your glutes, and we're going to do a little slow lower down using your core muscles, so pulling the lower belly back, or the belly button back towards the spine, taking your time, reaching the floor. And then one more little thing before we go into Shavasana. Once your feet are down, taking your time, we'll wait for everybody. Good for you, working the body. We're going to clasp the hands together, and the feet are flat as if they're on the floor, so toes are up towards the sky. And we're going to do a little curl up, just so you're going to try to reach your clasped hands up to the ceiling, but using your core muscles, you're just coming up. You're holding the belly in. Beautiful. Exhale. Release down. We're going to do it one more time. So wherever those core muscles take you, it might be, we're doing it up slow. You might be able to round up even further. Taking a breath there. On your exhalation, slowly lower down. Release the arms so palms are up, feet open up, and you can close your eyes and let go. Into that part of the practice that allows us to assimilate all that we've done into our foundation of the body, but also the difference between exercise and yoga is that we take this time to also focus on letting it assimilate through our whole being, our cells, our mind, our heart, our nervous system. Maybe into that etheric body, the energy body.
instead of using our mind to plant some kind of a seed, perhaps you can feel yourself as a seed, letting your whole being be planted for a new opening. We are all full of potential and possibilities until we take our last breath. So planting yourself at this time, allow what wants to come forward to spring forth from the shell and reach for the top of the soil to feel the sun. And as you let yourself slumber for one more moment, taking in all the nutrients that you need for your seed, Stephen and I will sing you one more verse of tonight's lullaby. Taking a nice deep breath into your body, feeling it all the way down to your toes, your fingers, and the top of your head. And let it out with a little sigh. And then start to move the digits, and then the ankle joints and the wrist, and maybe your head from side to side. And then in your own time, start to come out of your shell, rolling to one side or the other, and finding yourself moving into your seated position on your mat. No hurry. We'll bring our hands in front of our heart. With a sense of gratitude for this gathering that we've had tonight, and moving our bodies and sharing our energy here, and with those of you at home, We'll celebrate by doing one beautiful Om together. So breathing out and in. To our mutual spark. Namaste. Much love, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone.
And you.